So if you're just tuning in, today's show has a theme, a motif woven through the entirety of it, and it's the old ESPN, the magazine Next issues. Who's got next? Because there's a lot of young, emerging stars with connections to the area or playing in the area. And two of the players that are for sure in the next category, and pretty soon will be in the now category of college basketball, but the next category for just, I think, taking over the college basketball world and maybe beyond, play for Duke and UNC, and they're brand new freshmen. Cam Boozer and Caleb Wilson. And I think it is appropriate on so many levels that they are equally interesting. Their fan bases are equally excited about them. They're equally here for like 8 months and going to leave. They're equally, top recruits and all of that, but they're also so different, and it plays into the UNC Duke thing. They're going to play each other twice. There will be maybe more. There's going to be storylines throughout. And all of this started, this whole next episode, was kind of inspired by one particular stat that I saw about Cam Boozer. So let me go ahead and just bring it to your attention. ESPN Insights tweeted this out. So, ESPN has all their little analytics accounts and all that. ESPN Insights tweeted, Cameron Boozer is the first ACC player with at least 100 points, 50 rebounds, and 20 assists in a 5-game span since Boston College's Craig Smith in March of 2006. I read that and I went, wow, that's 2006. It's a long time. That's pretty impressive. First guy to do that. It's crazy. And then a Duke basketball, I think it was a fan account, retweeted it and added the context. He has played in 5 career games. And that's when it sparked. I think I read it the first time as if it were Cameron Boozer's the first ACC player with 100 points, 50 rebounds, and 20 assists in their first 5 games, because that makes more sense to me. Once I saw somebody emphasize that he has only played 5 career games, I went, oh, wait a second. That stat is for any 5-game span at any point in the year by anyone in the ACC since 2006. And Cameron Boozer just happened to do it in his first 5 games. So I was like, that's outlandish. That's crazy. It's 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists per game over any 5-game span. It hasn't been done in the ACC by an ACC player since 2006, and he did it in his first 5 games.
So Paulo Banchero never did it.
I mean,
Baycott never did it.
If it were just in Duke history, it would be wildly impressive. It's the whole ACC since 2006. Think of all of the draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
Think of all of the All-Americans. Think of all of the great players on not great teams who seemingly had to do everything for their team, right? Not even just the triangle, right? Those random good players that pop up at Boston College or Pitt or wherever, and it's like, never did it. Michael Carter-Williams from Syracuse averaged like darn near a triple-double in the NBA as a rookie. He didn't do it at Syracuse. So I was like, all right, let me go see. Boozer, that's Duke's stud freshman, top 5 recruit. Let me swing over here to Caleb Wilson. Caleb Wilson for UNC has also played in 5 career games. He is 1.4 assists per game away from also hitting those totals in his first 5 games. Now, it's not as impressive using those barometers, but when you add in that Caleb Wilson has more steals and blocks, you add in that he's leading the country in dunks, you add in he's been in foul trouble at least once, you add in all of these things, goodness gracious, are these guys impressive. And I don't know whether to think, like, this is a problem I have evaluating wide receivers sometimes, and I'm a draft nerd, so I do my best. I try to, look at him in college and make my own justifications, not just go to Mel Kiper's big board and say, I like the guy who's first. Because wide receivers are becoming so much more polished early on. right? They've been playing 7-on-7 since they were in diapers. They've been running like choice routes and option routes since they were in middle school. So it's like, how much do you project them getting better, right? When you see him as a freshman, are you like, oh goodness, or how good is he going to be as a junior? I think basketball is getting the same way, right? You have so many trainers and you have so many AAU teams. Like I love all the player run podcasts. You know what I'm talking about? Like, everyone that played in the early 2000s now has a podcast, or even in the 90s. And I like the stories of when they like saw Tracy McGrady for the first time. And it's always like 10 minutes before he was drafted. Like, we saw him at one camp before he was first round pick, because back then, you played your AAU within like a 2-hour bubble, right? And you'd hear maybe about, great guys elsewhere, the ABCD camp, maybe everybody would get together and see each other. But now it's like, the top 10 recruits play each other like 15 times a year, right? You're at the EYBL, you're in all the All-Star games, you're on Team USA. Like, they play super high-level competition often. So part of me wants to go, goodness gracious, Cameron Boozer, Caleb Wilson, a few other guys across the country have shown up, and they're 20-10 out the jump, right? 20 points, 10 rebounds the moment they step on campus. Should I project that there's this other level for them to get to if they continue improving, or is that level that other guys throughout college basketball would reach their junior, senior years, would that be because they showed up with raw talent and no polish and had to develop into it, and these guys are being, buffed, polished, and perfected starting at 7? I don't know, but I like to let my mind wander to there's another layer for these guys. There's another level that they can get to. Because like 20-10-4 in your first 5 games. Do you have 27-12-6? Like, is that in there somewhere?
And not all of their games have come against scrub competition either, for both guys.
No, but also all of the greats that we know played against scrub competition for 5-game stretches in their career as juniors, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not like we're comparing them against a bad schedule to other teams against top 10 guys. Like it's not that. They had their entire career to do this. They hadn't done it since 2006. And then you add in the temperaments, right? Part of what I said is I love that they're different. Right? I love that they're unafraid. I love that the story that's taken Cam Boozer to mythical proportions in the early part of his career is his first game against Texas, where he goes scoreless in the first half, and John Shire calls him soft, and he goes out and has 15 in the second half. I love that he's mentally tough. I love that Caleb Wilson is playing well, and because of that, he's drawing attention, and he's not afraid of it. Matter of fact, Slam, remember Slam? We're talking a lot of magazines today. ESPN, the magazine, Slam. Slam's still around, mostly online, but they still put out their covers because they're iconic, right? Think of I think of a Kevin Garnett one I can remember, the Allen Iverson one I can remember, right? There's some iconic Slam covers. Caleb Wilson is on their cover, digital, but still. And there's a interview they put out along with it, and Caleb Wilson does not shy away from lofty expectations. We have some of that audio for you. Here's Caleb Wilson talking to Slam.
Well, I had like reasons why I felt like I needed to work. I'm a big guy. Like I just need motivation to do something, or I just need a reason. So once I find out my why, it's gonna be over with. I wanted to be the number 1 pick, and nobody was discussing me as a number 1 pick. So that was definitely one of my motivations to work really hard. And also, I just counted down the days. Honestly, like a lot of things seem so far away until they're there. So I knew when we was 100 days away. I knew we were 60 days away. I knew we were 1 day away. I approached it all the same way.
You talked about
wants to be the number 1 pick. That's not talking in coach speak. That's not, well, I want to do the best I can and hopefully the NBA sees my potential. No, I want to be the number 1 pick. And later on in that same interview, we talked about being the best player in the country. Here's that audio.
I just go out here and I just play as hard as I can, because at the end of the day, basketball is a team game. It's not an ISO game. It's not one person can win. So I never approach the game with my own team as like, this is all about me, or this is what I have to do to win. It's more like I'm just going to go out here and play as hard as I can. And I never really have expectations when I go out and play, which is something I really worked on mentally over the summer, just kind of clearing my mind and not having expectations so I can play free and clear. But I just want to be a dog. Like, I want respect from everybody. Like, I feel like I'm the best player in the country. All I can do is go prove it. If nobody else believes it, all you can do is go prove it. And somebody's still not going to believe it. And that's what motivates me until everybody will, but that'll never happen.
Best player in the country. Trying to speak it into existence. There is going to be star-making performances from both of those guys throughout the season. And I hope there is a classic battle in there somewhere. I hope there's a Duke-UNC game, a UNC-Duke game where they both score 30. I hope there's an ACC tournament game in there somewhere. I hope. Because add it to the lore, right? The rivalry is long and storied, and they can write their chapter. But they definitely think in that book they got next, as well as their teammates. But they're special in their own right.